want to sit and talk to you about a very special man in my life. On the 31st of January 2011, my stepfather had passed away. It was unexpected and it was quick. And people keep asking me, am I alright? Am I alright? Well, I'm going to say to you now, if I cry during this video, then I'm not apologising for it. It's raw and it's unedited because this is how I feel right now. My stepfather brought me up for 22 years and was always there to do the daddy things. Clean up my sick and wipe my shitty bum. And it's the way it was, and I'm sorry that that's just the way it was. He was a tower of strength to the whole family. He would never have it that I wasn't his daughter. I was, in his eyes, I was his, and he treated me the same as his son. There's been times since it happened where I've been angry, times where I've been sad, times where I've thought about all the things he'll miss out on, all the events that may happen to me that he won't see. Me getting married because he missed the first one, did it in secret, and me having children, being pregnant, him being granddad to my kids. And I don't know, I knew he was ill for a long time. From being about 14, I realised he was an ill man. He cheated death on 4 separate occasions, and he was a wonderful man. Sorry, it seems odd talking about him in the past tense. I went on his Facebook today and finally took all the pictures off and deactivated it. And to do that was awful because it meant he was gone. Yet around the house, he's still here. His socks are still hung on the error. His jumpers are still hung up like he's still here. His slippers are still there, and you think, any minute, my daddy will walk in and they can say, wake up Mel, it's a nightmare. But unfortunately that's not the case. The funny thing is, one of the last sane conversations I had with my dad, because he wasn't well, was after a fall I had about 2 weeks ago in a pub. And I was with my real dad and my stepmom, or as I call her, Mummy Lisa. And I had a fall, and I didn't want either of them to. It wasn't a nasty thing, it was just I wanted to go home to my mum and to my dad. And I got in the car and I sat there and I said all I wanted was my daddy. And he took hold of my hand and he says, I'm here now. Like I always am. And when I was a kid, he tried to get me into fishing. And I used to hate sitting there watching this float bobbling up and down, thinking, I'm not enjoying this. But when you get older, you'd give up to go back to sitting at a pond or a river and fishing for the time, not for what you were doing. It was the most boring thing I'd ever done. But I was with my daddy, and it was a time. He was well, and he was my dad, and we were doing things because that's it. And he'd seen me grow into a woman over the last kind of 3 or 4 years. My dress sense changed, and my style and what I wanted changed. He saw me get with boyfriends, and they consistently then broke my heart. And I think that when my marriage failed, he was there. You know, he was hugging me and he was saying that it wasn't my fault. There were so many times that he was there in the capacity of dad, that even though now I know my real dad and I have learned to love him and my brothers and sisters, it doesn't mean that I stopped calling Neil dad, and I wonder sometimes if there is a God, if he brought me Susan, Ian and Lisa and Johnny and Joe so I'd have some support when this happened, because you never know how God works, I suppose. And he'd always said he was going to die when he was 61, 62. And I said, don't be so stupid. And unfortunately he proved us right. I loved him very much, and I couldn't have asked for a better man to be my daddy. I've always said it takes a man to have a child and be somebody's dad, but it takes a special man to take on somebody else's child and be their daddy. He was wonderful, and there's not a bad thing I can think to say about him, really. He was the best dad any girl could ever want, and I'm just sad he won't witness the events I wanted him to witness. And I just hope he rests in peace. And to anybody that lost a parent this week, a grandparent, a sibling, an auntie, anybody you were close to, a best friend, my heart and my sympathy also goes to you. And even though it's hard now, even for me, I know that in time the memories will stay and the pain will fade. Thank you for watching.